Alrighty. So now we're going to move along to, I'll read her bio first, and then I will tell you who she is. Renée Ọmọladé, okay, I did it right, consider herself to be a lifelong Boston student who is always learning from the city. She is currently the Senior Director of Educational Strategies and Community Schools at the United Way of Mass Bay. She works for organizations such as Boston Public Schools, Black Girls Rock, Empath Crittenton, Women's Union, and the Lewis Family Foundation. And she has earned her Bachelor of Arts in Sociology with a double minor in Africana Studies and in Gender and Women's Studies from Emmanuel College, and while balancing motherhood is inspiring to complete her master's in public policy at Northeastern University as a Christian leader. And she is also our chairwoman of our board on Mothers for Justice and Equality. So ladies and gentlemen, start clapping hands right now, start clapping hands right now, start clapping hands right now, start clapping hands right now. Renée Ọmọladé.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Victory is mine. Victory is mine. Victory today is mine. I told Satan, get thee behind. Victory today is mine. Joy is mine. Joy is mine. Joy today is mine. I told Satan, get thee behind. Joy today is mine. Good morning, everyone. Oh my goodness, I am always just so filled and blessed to be in this room. One of the greatest honors of my life is to be the chair of the board for Mothers for Justice and Equality. Oh my goodness. You know, as a leader in Boston who works for an organization that funds hundreds of nonprofits, I have to say that Mothers for Justice and Equality is one of the healthiest, strongest nonprofits in Boston that is doing real grassroots work that has a direct impact on our families. And as the board chair, the board's responsibility is to ensure that any nonprofit organization is fiscally sound so that they can do the work for the community. So that is always, for the board members that are here, that is our first and foremost goal. And we're doing that. And so I just want to, again, just give a shout out to the board, for Mona Lisa, for really creating an organization that is strong. Mona Lisa, the first thing that she always thinks about is, are my staff going to be okay? Are we writing grants? Are we bringing in dollars that are true to the work that we're doing? There's no mission drift. We're not changing up who we are to get another dollar. We are firm in what we believe and what we are convicted to do and how we steward this work. And so, again, the work that we are all here to do is important. Mona Lisa always talks about turning pain to purpose. And to do that as people of color, as people in despair sometimes, we must be strategic. We must shift our mindsets to do the work of liberation. And so my plenary today is going to be about how do we start to do that? What are some mindsets that we can really lean into to be able to do this work? Because the enemy has strategy. We must have strategy as well in order to overcome. Nothing that we have gotten out of as any people in despair has been by accident. There have been people who you may not know their names or what they did, who strategized for us to be here today. So I'm excited to kind of talk a little bit about that. I do want to just offer some scripture into the space to just ground us. So from John 14, verse 1, do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I am going there to prepare a place for you? And if I go there and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. You know the way to the place where I am going. Somebody say, you know the way. You know the way. All right. The second verse I want to share with you all comes from Philippians 2, verses 14 to 15. Do everything without grumbling or arguing, so that you may become blameless and pure, children of God without fault in a warped and crooked generation. Then you will shine among them like stars in the sky. As we think about the work of mindsets, we know that what we affirm, what we say to ourselves consistently matters. It matters in how we overcome. You talk so much about just being able to get up and show up. Pouring that into your daughter so she can get up and show up a little differently, right? The mindsets, the things that we tell ourselves are not insignificant. They're the most important things and thoughts that we have. So I'm going to talk infrequently so that you all can talk amongst yourselves frequently today. So you'll notice that there are some packets on your tables. And these come from an organization called the National Equity Project. The National Equity Project does work all across the country to really help leaders on the ground and in the community build strategies for liberation work, for equity work, for community work. And as a part of their strategy, they have these mindsets for liberation. And we're going to do some work to really look through some of these mindsets together. Think about, what mindsets are helpful for us. And then we'll have some opportunities to share out as well. So for the first part, I want everybody to find a packet on your table. We're going to do a little individual reflection. There should be four packets on each table, so you should be able to pair up with someone and share. I want you to think about a challenge that you're facing as a leader. It could be funding. It could be that one person on your team who's just not getting it. It could be grief. But think about one challenge that you're facing as a leader, and I want you to go through this packet and pick one mindset that if you use could shift your situation. So think of a challenging situation and then think about one mindset. Do you see them? That if you use could shift that situation. And so you'll see there: build relational trust, practice self-awareness, recognize oppression, embrace complexity, focus on human values, seek liberatory collaboration, work with fear and discomfort, attend to healing, work to transform power, exercise creative courage, take action to learn, share, don't sell. So those are the mindsets. In the back, there's more around just like how you use this process, but we're not going to get into that today. We're just going to focus on the mindsets. All right. Raise your hand if you found a mindset. Raise your hand. Okay. Okay. Mic, where's the other mic? So as you find a mindset, we're just gonna actually come around and ask people to just share which mindset you picked and why.
I picked focus on human values, because if we don't have the same values, then there would be a disconnect.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Anyone else? You know Amanda would just walk up and pick people.
I chose build relational trust because I have an issue with trusting now. So
It's a good one.
Oh, I get you.
Nikia.
I got you. I got you.
Oh, right there.
I'm sorry. Oh, here you go with this mic. I chose focus on human values. I believe that when we are more connected to the community need, we can meet that need a little bit better. Kind of reflecting off of what you said, like when Mona Lisa makes decisions, she's wondering, like, are my staff going to be okay? Like, so when we're implementing different changes and different things that we're offering to the community, is the community going to be receptive to this? Is this what the community actually needs?
Thank you.
I'm going to just take it because I can see you looking. Work with fear and discomfort. I think I chose that one because I'm always in fear that I'm not doing the best in my role. So I'm always trying to do more and better myself. So.
Thank you. Maybe two more? Are there two more?
I picked take action to learn because I'm always out there in the community and I'm always taking action and I'm always willing to learn for me to be at MJE.
Yes.
So learning from Mona Lisa, how she stood up there yesterday, it made me feel that the more I keep taking my action, I'm learning, and it's a learning experience to go to each state. So I'm glad to be at MJE.
Amen.
I did collaboration. I'm always looking for ways to collaborate and figure out what partners, what people, what places, what spaces do we need to be in to get the goal that we want, right? So I love the opportunity to talk with people and get ideas in terms of how can we collaborate, how can we work together for a common goal. So that's one of the things I love to do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you got one more. One more.
Share, don't sell. I feel when you share, you show more love because everyone do not have money. So when you share, it's considered caring and loving.
Yes. All right, is that everyone? Anyone else want to go? All right. They told you I was getting my master's in public policy, so y'all know I'm like, these are a lot of words, but I'm doing all of this reading. I'm just used to reading a lot. So I'm like, I done gave them too many words probably to read. So what I want us to do now is I want us to really be able to think about how would we use these mindsets strategically. And so one of the things that we kind of do as leaders sometimes is called little case studies. And so we're not going to take too long to do this, but what I want to do is I want one person at the table to share a challenge that they're having. And then what you all are going to do together is think about which mindset will help us overcome. So this person is going to be able to present a challenge. You're gonna work together to think about this mindset could help overcome, or maybe it could be a few, and then you'll walk away with actually some strategic advice from your peers and colleagues on how to overcome. What I want us to understand in this is that we collectively have some solutions to our problems. When we workshop together and share information, strategize together, we can develop the solutions for ourselves, for our communities. So we'll take just 10 minutes to do that. We'll spend maybe the first 2 to 5 minutes, pick someone who's gonna share their problem, and then the rest of the time will be spent really thinking about giving some advice on the mindsets that you can use to solve that problem. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna give, take time with your table to identify who wants to be the person to share their case, and raise your hand when you identify the person who's gonna share their challenge. Dasha, okay.
The challenge is what is, I don't have my glasses on. Work to transform power.
They went right into it. All right, raise your hand if you're the person who's going to be sharing for your table. We got one. Who's going to be? Who got a challenge? Oh, y'all are still figuring it out. Okay, no problem. Yes, you got two.
I'm working to transform power.
Perfect. Okay, good. Yeah. Oh. You got y'all's. Y'all still figuring it out? So, yes, so you're telling your, like Kiara, you would be saying, this is a challenge that I'm experiencing in my work. That's the first part. The second part is then you all are gonna say, let's look at some of these to say, this could be a solution to that. Does that make sense? Okay, so we got Kiara. Okay. Y'all find somebody? No. Okay, I pick Miss Reverend. Okay, Miss Bessie Smith. She gonna share? Yes. All right. All right, so now the person who's sharing their challenge, you have the mic at your table to tell everybody what the challenge is that you need their advice on. Yep. Yes, now.
So the person at the table, was one.
This is gonna be just at your table for now. Yeah. Just at your table for now. Okay. Dasha, what's the challenge?
Is it because the young people, the older people don't feel the younger people or need to pray for themselves to transform that power?
Okay. It could be either or. It could be either.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
In these days.
The young, and then probably they don't feel comfortable. They're probably intimidated by the older folks. Right. They're probably intimidated because that's how it is in all the churches. They're probably intimidated because they're like, oh well, the older folks, the seniors always pray,
right.
Or oh they're not gonna want me to pray. The seniors don't want them to pray. You know what I'm saying? Right. It could be vice versa. Yeah. It could definitely be vice versa.
Or they're always approached for criticism and not
that's a good one.
You know what I mean? Because I think I heard somebody say that. They said I would, she said, I would love to, instead of being criticized all the time, I want to hear what I'm doing right. Do you see what I mean? I forget who said that. I don't know if it was somebody at the conference or somebody, but it was a young person that was a parent. And she said, I would love to hear more positive things that I'm doing right, opposed to always hearing what I'm doing wrong. So that could be the same thing with the youth. They're always being corrected, but they're not being like uplifted.
Yeah. And that's in every church. I mean, because I've seen that too. Like, that's in the Baptist church. Like, cause when I went to New Hope Baptist Church, every time they would never call on the young folks to do anything. It's always like Brother King. It was always the senior. So people didn't feel, kids didn't feel comfortable. Like, kids can't pray. So.
And culturally, a lot of older people are taught that correction is about love, right? So if I'm correcting you, that means I love you. And so a new mindset is, when you think about like work to transform power, changing that mindset that it's not always about correcting, it's about, showing, demonstrated like what you're doing right. So, for instance, maybe you can dress a little differently, right? Or fix up a little bit. Instead of that, it's like, I love that outfit you have on. You know what I mean? It really does, like that color looks so good on you. You know what I mean? And leading with those things where you build that trust, right? Because that's their identity.
That's the other one, build relational trust.
Yeah. Or have a program where it's just all youth. Right. The youth is preaching, the youth is praying, the youth is take the treasury. You know what I'm saying? Just have a program just for the youth. Yeah. And then that will show each person's talent.
Some of them pray differently, like they pray through poetry, like our youth, like they're not like on their knees, but like they do it through like their poetry, they do it through rap. I know we're taking them to like the studio. They'll do it through journaling. So I think like what the older generation sees as prayer, these youth do it much differently in a more poetic, artistic way. They do it through their painting and stuff like that. So they are praying, but it's not the way we used to say
Jubilee, they have, remember when they did the Halloween thing? It was like they were having like the Halloween, the youth have a Halloween thing. They have a Halloween part. It's not a party, but they have like a haunted house. Remember? I had to go and pray for the haunted house. I didn't do it. Dasha, remember they had like, each room was like, they had, it was 10. I know they have a lot of stuff. Yeah, but you went down there. You said when they come through the haunted.
All right, we're gonna get ready to ask some people, each table to share out. So, yeah. So give you another 5 minutes or so to wrap up your conversations.
To add to this, however, I grew up.
I don't remember that. Where was the? I know they had a haunted house in the Halloween thing last year.
probably too like intellectual.
No, I think they love it.
Okay. I'm like, I bring it like, Lord, I'm into this stuff all the time.
Pastor Matt's son said we need to do something different to get the young people in. And so they literally created like the haunted house, right? So they would go through like, and they had wobbling.
It was on the premises itself?
It was on the premises. And then they had to pray people after they got to the end.
Oh, yeah.
You were praying.
I don't remember that. They went downstairs and it was like, oh yeah, they set that up.
Right down there.
I remember that. Yes.
I wanted to add.
Yeah. Oh man, it was husband.
Her husband. Now she remembers.
I wanted to add though that in my church and in my church I bring in
When you get to my age, I'm listening. You'll find out.
in the church I bring in, it is the other way around. And you see parents, Mona Lisa, I'm adding that in my church upbringing, in Africa generally, these they go for church for hours, but when they come out, what you see is parents greeting each other, and when they say that, oh, by the way, my son was the first in class, and the other parents will say, oh, wonderful, we're happy for you. I want your son. You see, your son is more motivated. I want them to team up with my son. And then
All right, 2 minutes. 2 minutes out.
I can't read lips.
Mona, you want to give ours? You did good. Because you can say this challenge and the solution first.
then Amanda would say, no.
All right, so our table is going to go first, and Mona Lisa is going to talk about our challenge and the mindsets that we said could help solve it. Thank you, Mona Lisa.
Okay, so Dasha, Reverend Dasha, had talked about her mindset was work to transform power. And we said, well, what is the issue? And she said in her church, she finds that the young people don't take leadership. They don't take action. And so they want to see the young people be more leaders in the church. And so we talked about what does that look like and why do they not? And then we said sometimes as adults we have a tendency to lead with criticism and correction because there's a mindset that we believe that if we correct you, then that means we care about you. But to young people, it might mean we should lead with more positive statements. And so instead of saying that outfit is too distressed, we could say that color looks very good on you, and I love how you kind of put that ensemble together. And really kind of working toward transforming the power and recognizing that that's their mindset, that's their way of representing themselves. And over time, they begin to understand that maybe, the ripped up clothes you wear are not like, really fashionable. You know what I mean? So I think that's what we talked about. And then we use an example of our church that we go to, and we have a young pastor, and his father is the senior pastor, and he had presented Halloween as getting the kids off the street. And so they created like each room was like a haunted house. And in some places it's like, oh no, we don't do Halloween. But they looked at it as a way of, one, listening to what the young people wanted to do differently, and then as a way for the adults to pray for them. So Dasha was one of the people that, as they went through the scary rooms, on the other side, they were being prayed for and all those other things. So that's, in that way, the mindset is, how do we work to transform the power? And Dasha was looking at that as more generational, the next generation taking over, and how do we as leaders do that?
Thank you. And there's some interconnected mindsets there. We had work to transform power, but also building relational trust, right? Like building that trust with the young people in order to get them in the door based off of what they wanted. Awesome. Thank you. Next table. Who wants to go next?
Okay.
Right over here.
Homegirl left me, but anyway, it's all right. I'm here with Pamela and Sherma and Nancy, amen, and Homegirl. And we have a hypothetical board of directors establishment of a nonprofit. And we are gathering our members, not necessarily friends and family, though it often is reality. And they're bringing in their assorted and varied gifts and talents to the board. But in the midst of bringing their talents to the board, there are some that are there with animosity and dislikes of the others, and they do not authentically express themselves in terms of their identity, and in terms of listening, it's judgmental rather than being intentional. And so we're looking at the mindset of building relational trust as alluded to by Renee just in the aforementioned. And we already know the why, but in terms of the how, we need to facilitate, again, an interconnectedness, a personal connection by inviting them. And of course, you know, friends and family don't understand that you have to bring your responsibility is help to raise the money, fundraising, but not just fundraising, but having a desire and a great outlook for community, for the enhancement and betterment of all. And so we want to dedicate the space and the time for those people to bring forth their ideals, because everybody has a voice and everybody has an ideal, not necessarily to be embraced, but the best we need to get a hold of. And we need to demonstrate the importance, the vital importance of non-judgmental listening, and be intentional and authentic in bringing yourself forward on the board. And we're not jockeying for position or title. We're working as a team because there's no big I's and no little U's. So we want to create that space for community and to reflect and express the process, thoughts, and emotions of each member as we cultivate the cultural invite dialogue and collective sense-making. We want to do what is common sense. But every now and then we get off on a tangent and things become nonsensical. They become senseless, and we have no bearing and no direction when we need to have the foundation in the beginning anyway, which is our faith that leads us and grounds us. And as a board, we want to do the better good, like Jim Collins said, good to great as a board. So that's where our mindset is, building relational trust, the why and the how.
Thank you. Reverend Dandridge might be able to write his own mindsets. You know?
Hello, good morning. I was quickly elected our speaker for our table, and we identified an issue that I think a lot of organizations are facing right now, just around like where do we get funding. So we listed the idea of putting together like a toy drive for Christmas and how to get the resources, how to connect, and how to make that from an idea to a reality. I think like with a lot of these, we talked about a couple different values. We talked about building relational trust on our own team and beyond that team to connect to, you know, not only do I get to trust Paulette, but maybe Paulette has built a relational trust with her church, and that has the manpower to put together, you know, the actual wrapping. We talked about sharing and not selling when we're doing outreach to potential donors or to people in the community, to not say, hey, we need this amount from you, but to share like, this is something we've seen impact our community for the better in the past. This is something we want to do again. Maybe citing a story or two of people who have benefited from this, but not coming in with just an ask and being able to say, this is me, this is who I am, leaning again on that relational trust. And then to internally kind of work from that liberatory collaboration, so identifying who on your team has viewpoints and strengths and weaknesses and how you can set up the best kind of like strategy to make it happen for everybody. But I think that's most of what we talked about. Obviously, all of these are at play, but those were the big three.
Good job. All right, Colin.
For our group, we chose Attend to Healing. And the reason why we chose Attend to Healing, because a lot of times in community spaces where there's an excessive amount of trauma, there's no place to really release or heal or build trust or build any kind of, real bridge towards that. So what we had was create healing spaces for youth and families. And we came up with like healing groups and healing spaces like what the MJE is. Well, for me, I don't know about y'all, but that's what it is for me. Healing Zoom and pop-ups like either online or in person where folks can come in, or if you feel like if it's better to do it online at a certain time. Like what they have for the program at MJE, they have the, not the community talk, but the other, the coloring class, Healing Through the Arts. There's the Healing Through the Arts class, but also what's the online conversation they be having? And then there's the other one at 7 p.m. The evening group work, see, there it is, yep. It's already being intricated, yes. And then we also thought of a 24-hour trauma response line where folks can call in and actually, voice their issues and their grievances that way, and also self-reflection workshops. So a lot of things that MJE has already incorporated into the community. And we also feel like when you create a healing space, you create a space for your own, being accountable for your own healing journey and just growth. Because if you don't heal you, you're not really good for the folks around you that need you. So, and like you can't give from an empty cup, you need your cup to be filled too, so.
Good job.
Thank you. Amanda. Okay.
Show.
Right here, yeah.
I'm Kiara. I'm speaking for the group and myself. I chose to take action. I chose that one because I feel like I need to do more. My group table lady, Ida, she chose another one, but we were saying the same thing. Like, we just feel like we do more. We have one title, but we have multiple roles. So the problem was that we chose about child care, because I need help with child care, after school care, so I can go back to work. And the solution was she was going to help me, because I'm a CNA, I'm a home health aide. She was going to help me and find jobs during those certain hours. The problem was I have a limited amount of time to work, like 8 to 2 every day. There's like no time to do nothing. And all the jobs that I find is always far out. So she's gonna help me find some that's in the city that I live in. Yeah, that's what we got, right? Is that, okay, yep.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good job.
All right, hello. I would say one of the challenges that we were facing as a department is, and we've kind of focused on one of the mindsets here, is embracing complexity, and that's based on some of our challenges are the younger generation coming into our workforce and having to apply their views and experiences with our tenured staff. The job's the same. The structure of the job doesn't change. The job description doesn't change, but their outlook on how to perform it does change. And also the technology has caused a lot of changes. So dealing with the complexities of having a younger generation trying to coexist with someone, who's in their mid to late 50s, who's been on the job for about 30, 40 years, and having to perform the same job with the younger crowd, and just kind of get those two age groups to mix and share the same philosophies and outlooks, but the overall goal being the same, and it's public safety and community safety and things of that nature. So I'd say the complexities are trying to get these two different age groups to kind of work with each other and so forth. You know, we all work with individuals who can be more energetic than others, more difficult than others, personality issues, and it's just, that's some of the challenges I'd say that we face currently in our environment.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you, thank you. All right, do you guys want to go right here in the middle? Is there another group that wants to go? Oh, yep, okay.
Hi. We couldn't come to an agreement of who's going to speak, so Renee picked me. So we was discussing healing. As we seniors here, and as we age, we tend to forget that we also need healing. And we want to always put ourselves in a place where we want to reach out. We're never too old. I'm 77 years old, and I feel like life is just beginning, okay? Amen. So we want to create a space and time to reach to the younger folks to let them know what we have encountered and how we overcame. And I just challenged my seniors here to really find time to embrace our own healing first so we can reach out to heal the younger folks, because you're never too old. You know, like I say, at 77, I think I'm just starting, okay?
Okay.
All right, so
all right now.
That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Is this anybody at this table? No? Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone want to talk?
Are you going to talk?
I don't have any idea. We can talk.
Oh, we can talk.
Good morning. In our table, one of the things that I was talking about that was impactful for me was that power of collaboration. And I will tell you, it's reality, because at our table, we had some issues collaborating in what we wanted to talk about, right? We had a number of things that we were talking about that we said, you know what, we need some help in talking about and talking through. And it was interesting. We won't go because it was very personal for folks. So I will say that when we were talking about one particular issue of how she was wanting to handle an issue at work, she talked right through to her solution. And that's collaboration. We were all talking and pouring in, well, you can do this. And she said, well, I did that, and that didn't work. I said, well, you can maybe try this. You're like, maybe. So it works in terms of collaborating to get ideas. And I like this one that says also take action to learn. Because when you can hear and listen, I think you were saying it too, when you can listen to what opportunities that are there out for you to think about or to collaborate on, you can learn in terms of, maybe that's one idea that I can take to get better. So we were collaborating like crazy, even though we were all off on another tangent, but take action to learn is our thing. Amen, we worked it out.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for participating and your engagement and your brilliance. You know, I just want us to walk away from this understanding that there is power within your network. You can sit down, and it's okay to acknowledge that you have challenges. Find a group of people that you can work with to strategize on those challenges. And that's across anything that we have going on, whether you're at the corrections, whether you're in the community leading. Everyone has a problem, and we should not try to solve it alone. Because I'm sure you all had different ideas that maybe you didn't think of or you wouldn't have thought of to get to the solution. And by using things like these liberatory design mindsets, it helps to add a little bit of guidance to the conversations you're gonna have. So you can say, hey y'all, I have this challenge, open up this packet and be like, help me pick one of these that I should use to be successful. So thank you all, thank you all, thank you all. I appreciate you, and see you next year.